Shabbat Shalom. Let me hear every voice, young and old. Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to welcome you. We have a real festive atmosphere here, which is beautiful for Shabbat. Shh. We welcome Maddie and Dan Irie, who are no strangers to our bima, as we have a bunch of Iries here for Simcha. And let's warm this room up. Let's start with a nice, beautiful nigun. No words needed. Just join us with your voices. 2, 3, 4. If you know it, sing along. Yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, 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 lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, yallai. So easy, just join along. Yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, 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 lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, 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 lalai, lai, yallai, Let's get those hands clapping. Yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, 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 lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, lalai, lai, yallai, 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 lalai, lai, yallai, 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 lalai, lai, yallai, lai,
Shabbat Shalom to everyone. We're going to begin our service on page 12 with our candlelighting service. And this is that moment where I'm not actually sure if the people coming up for the candlelighting service know. So some of you are getting nervous right now that it might be you whose name I'm going to call. I'm just going to call upon Randa and Emily Feldman to come forward. Mother and daughter in town. So we'll call her up as we celebrate this Shabbat after Thanksgiving, when we're all kind of in a coma still.
Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora v'Simcha, Shabbat Menucha.
This is Israel's day of light and joy, a Sabbath of rest. As we kindle these Sabbath flames, may there be light and joy, happiness and holiness, serenity and peace in our homes and in our hearts.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
We continue on page 30. We are young, our experience is few. We are older, veterans of life's teachings. We've endured great adversity. We have been untouched. We are married, we are single, we are Jews of many varied traditions. Having traveled many different roads, our separate journeys have led us all to this sacred place in our lives. Turn now to the prayer and song on page 34 and continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi, לקראת קלה, בני שבת, נקבלה לך דודי. לקראת קלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף המעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. שבת נקבלה.
Ki
גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
So keep your fingers in your prayer books around page 40 or 41 or 42, but turn to page 91. There is a special prayer for Thanksgiving this week where we merge the Jewish ideal of giving thanks with the secular American holiday of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a noun, a national holiday, a state of being, a day created by presidential proclamation. But giving thanks is a verb, an action, an intention, a sacred task. Together with me, O God, you have bestowed upon us the ability to take our world for granted. Without this gift, we would be paralyzed with awe. Each and every flower would stop us in our tracks, leave us helpless with amazement. But we, your people, do sometimes take this sacred gift too far. We stumble sightless through your glorious creation. We are numb to your creative brilliance. And so we take this time to thank you for all that you have given us. Blessed are you, creator of beauty and sustenance, bounty and joy. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 42.
בעלמא דברך ירתי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן יש מרב המבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו להבין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה גם איראן בהלמה וימרו אמן. Page 44 together. La 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 la
Together at the bottom of page 45. All that we see, the heaven, the earth, and all that fills it, all these things are the external garments of God. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. Page 50. O God, you traveled with our fathers as they journeyed through the wilderness. You sang with our fathers at the shores of the Red Sea. You stood with our fathers as they fought against oppression. You have brought us all here, fathers and mothers, daughters and sons, to our own promised land of freedom.
We continue on page 57. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'derech, u'v'shokbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot ben einecha, u'chetavetam, al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kidoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
I know that some of you out there have incredible seats to the Fisher. We have the best seats tonight because we get to see these babies and toddlers through this service dancing, eating, just kind of nuzzling with their grandparents and great-grandparents, and there is nothing better in this world. And so now you can see them as we call to the bima Gavi Joshua Ari Hansat, son of Eli Hansat and Ben Iri. We also call up Jack Harrison Kenny, son of Ashley and Peter Kenny, with brother Liam. And they will all be receiving candlesticks and a baby book and all kinds of good stuff from Temple Israel.
ברוכים הבאים בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבין
at those big eyes. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just going to stand here in trance for a few moments and then. Are you going to grow up to be a rocket scientist too? Is that what's going to happen? Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. We are giving you on this bima the name Gabi Yehoshua in memory of your paternal great-grandfather, G. Joshua Lifshitz. Your proud grandparents are Chuck and Lee Hansot, Les and Bob Irie, Miriam Irie, and Donald Jones. And you are blessed with great-grandparents. That is truly a blessing. Debbie and Al Irie. And I also have to mention that your great-grandmother, Sandy, she's here. It's her 85th birthday tonight. So we're not going to sing happy birthday exactly, but you're going to give her a big hug afterwards just to wish her a happy birthday. We love you, we welcome you, and we hope that that smile lasts throughout your entire life because it's a beautiful one. Mazel tov.
And I hope that these two babies who are being named together will be lifelong friends. Lifelong friends living here in Michigan, right? Moving back here to Michigan and being here. So, Jack, today we are going to give you your Hebrew name as well. You will be known as Yaakov Chaim, named in memory of your maternal great-grandmother. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. I apologize. There, much better. Joan Lois Bloom, your proud grandparents, Randy and Robert Bloom, and Louise and Michael Kenny celebrate with you every day. And your proud great-grandparents are Francis Penskar, Gerald Bloom, and Helen Curtis. We love you. We pray that every day will bring you this kind of joy, that you will not cry like this every day, that only when the rabbi's babysitting will you be crying. We love both of these children, these families, these incredible people, and we pray that every day will bring you this kind of simcha. As together we say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
And even as we recognize our overwhelming gratitude for this moment, we also remember that it is in our nature as Jewish people not to just be grateful for what we have, but to push for freedoms for everyone else in the world as we turn to page 62 and join together in our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha.
Adonai. Ba'elim Adonai. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
How many of you are still feeling the tryptophan, or whatever they call it for when you eat too much and you can't move around really well the next day? Nobody? Just me? Okay, well, for my sake, we'll read responsively on the top of page 63. I am awake to myself and all others. I am awake to those who share my home. I am awake to an ancient text. I am awake.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת ושמרו לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Every voice. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת ושמרו לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת ושמרו לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם. Rise together for the Amida on page 68. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei אלוהי לאה ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently.
Sor Lashoni Mera Usfatai Midaber Mirma Belim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Kafar Lakol Tehia Elohai 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 Sor Lashoni Mera Usfatai Midaber Mirma Belim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Kafar Lakol Tehia Elohai Elohai Nitzor Lishonim Eros Fatai Midaber Bima Milim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Nafshi Kafar Lakol Elohai Elohai Shonim Meraus Fatai Midaber Mirma Lim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Nafshi Kafar Lakol Elohai 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 Nitzor Lishonim Meraus Fatai Midaber Mirma Lim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Nafshi Kafar Lakol Elohai Elohai, Yiu leratzonim reifi, vehegioni bi lefanecha, Adonai, 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 Tzuri.
Suri
So at our friends' Thanksgiving table, we all went around the table and said something we were thankful for, and people said they were thankful for their family, and the next person said they were thankful for their friends, and then my daughter said she was thankful for Frozen. So no matter what you're thankful for, no matter what you went around that table and said or hold in your hearts, all of us, all the time, are so, so thankful for our health and the health of those we love. And when we don't know that we have those things, that we hold them in our hands, it's very anxiety-producing and very painful. So as we turn to the Mishaberach on page 72, we send our whole hearts out to those in need of healing, members of our family, people sitting around that family table, and perhaps people who should be there or who couldn't be. And we also send our hearts out, our love out to people who are missing family members and friends around that table this year and are feeling emotional pain at their loss. We join together in our prayer for healing, the words of Mishaberach, page 72.
Mekor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. I hate turkey. I've always hated turkey. It's only taken me about 6 decades to admit that eating a dry, tasteless bird does not make me feel thankful. And we've tried everything. We've brined the turkey. We've fried the turkey. We've roasted and we've driven to Jenemsveld to shake the hand of the turkey before the farmer gave it to us in our pickup. I mean, we've done everything you can do. That's not 100% true. There is one part of the turkey I really do like. It's what my grandmother used to call the pupuk. Does anyone? I don't think that's anatomically correct, but that's the part that But it seems horrible to kill an entire turkey just for one little square inch of deliciousness. I don't get it. So a couple years ago, we switched to fish. We decided they ate fish back then, right? So we switched to a pescatarian Thanksgiving, but even that brought problems. Like, then we had to make sure that the fish was sustainably sourced. And that's not as easy as you think it might be. It's hard. Thank goodness there is an organization here in Detroit that deals with all of these complex issues from a Jewish perspective, as well as the greater issues of environmentalism. And what a great time, Thanksgiving, to talk about all of these issues. And it just so happens that magically, the rabbi and associate director of Hazon is here at services with us tonight, and I'm going to surprise him by calling him up to deliver the sermon. And so it is with a great deal of love and respect that we call upon Rabbi Nate DeGroot.
Couldn't ask for a much better introduction than that. So Shabbat Shalom, and I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving yesterday with family and friends. And it's really an honor for me to be here on behalf of Chazon Detroit, which is the Jewish Lab for Sustainability, and a great partner with Temple Israel here. I would like to say thank you for having me. So on Friday mornings at my previous job as a congregational rabbi out in Los Angeles, I would sometimes get to lead taught Shabbat services with the little ones in the Early Childhood Center. Early in the service, me and them would get to Moda or Modeh Ani, our prayer of gratitude that we say each morning when we rise up from the night. Before we'd sing, though, as a sort of warm-up and to get us oriented to the real meaning of Modeh Ani, I would ask the group to do exactly what Rabbi later said they did around the table at Thanksgiving yesterday, to shout out things that they were grateful for. So maybe you were already warmed up from yesterday, but I'd love to hear a few things that you are feeling grateful for today. Health, I think I heard. Family. Babies. Yeah. Fish, absolutely. Right, so they would tend to share these charming and unsurprisingly very cute responses like my mommy and my brother and cereal, kind of like Frozen. And inevitably, almost every time, someone would share something that they were grateful for relating to nature. So they might say the trees or the sun, which actually shines in Los Angeles, or my dog or fish, which all made my heart kind of tingle, because for kids and adults alike, nature, it seems, has a tendency to inspire within us a deep kind of gratitude and thanksgiving. Growing up in Massachusetts, I felt this often at my parents' house, where they still live and where I was raised, which has about 200 acres of conservation land directly abutting the backyard filled with forests and woods and ponds and lakes. I felt this kind of gratitude when I've traveled to national parks and faraway countries, and also walking in the local arboretum when I lived in Boston. I've even felt this kind of gratitude sitting on the couch watching Planet Earth or flipping through National Geographic. And maybe this kind of nature-induced gratitude or awe is something that you've experienced as well. I'd actually like you to think for a moment, maybe close your eyes, maybe keep them open, but just think for a moment of one moment that you've experienced a deep connection to nature that has instilled within you a sense of gratitude, maybe just in the last week, or maybe in the last year, or maybe some critical moment in your childhood. Take a few seconds now. Right, what is that moment? What did it feel like to be in that moment? And now, as a teacher of mine, Rabbi B'nai Lappi says, I want you to memorize that feeling. Nature, our tradition holds, is a manifestation of the divine. God in material form. The form of beauty, the form of flowers and buds bursting and water flowing. And our forebearers knew, like we do, that God is not separate from nature. And nature is not separate from God, but each is in an intricate relationship, delicate and resilient. They are woven together in the same thread within which we are bound. Modeh ani lefanecha, grateful am I before you, God. Melech chai v'kayam, the ruler of life and sustenance. Shehechazarta bi, that you return to me, nishmati, my soul. Bechemla, in compassion, Rabba emunatecha, your faith is abundant. Or for Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, one of our more modern rabbinic sages, quote, in the very experience of wonder, he writes, one is already beginning to say that existence comes to us as pure gift. Amazement, the radical amazement that Heschel is well known for and that we seekers try to seek comes, we learn, from the astounding fact of existence in the first place, the miraculous reality of being at all, or as Heschel says, the unexpectedness of being as such. What many of us take for granted is actually the starting place of amazement and gratitude, the fact that nature and we exist in the first place. And this is good because in our work as Chazon, we rely upon this amazement as a bridge, using the natural, no pun intended, connection that so many of us feel to nature as a way to help us all sort of lean in towards a more sustainable lifestyle as individuals and organizations, and as a motivator for environmental action that is meant to help this planet and one another on a larger scale. It's this gratitude born of amazement that led us to show up here on Purim this past year with our big yellow topsy-turvy bus handing out pineapple upside-down cocktails and mocktails in compostable cups, riffing on the Purim theme of the world turned upside down with a message that we need to turn this world and our values right side up. Raise your hand if you remember seeing the topsy-turvy bus at Purim this year. It's this feeling of gratitude that has led you all to show up as terrific partners at our Michigan Jewish Food Festival at Eastern Market in Detroit year after year. It's this feeling of gratitude that led us to join Rabbi Bennett and Zach and your Temple Israel teens this past summer on Shavuot to help plant your garden on the edge of the parking lot just outside, full of crops that, when harvested, can be used as symbolic foods in a variety of holiday programmings and celebrations, like the potatoes that we harvested a couple of weeks ago and gave to your early childhood center so that you can all use them to fry up latkes. And it's this feeling of gratitude that led Temple Israel to become a Chazon Seal of Sustainability site this past year, joining with over 20 other Jewish organizations in the Metro Detroit area and over 50 other organizations nationally who are committed to working towards a more sustainable Jewish community and world at large. On Thanksgiving and each day when we say Modeh Ani, we are grateful for the blessing of existence, and from that place we act. But Hebrew language is deep and rich, and at the root of the word for gratitude, todah, lies another word stemming from the same source, which requires a seat at the table alongside our thanks. And that word is confession, like the vidui we say on high holidays, todah and vidui, sharing the same linguistic root. According to Rav Kook, the former and first Ashkenazi chief rabbi of Palestine, in his commentary on the Siddur, on the prayer book, he says of Modeh Ani, this first prayer, quote, the teaching that there is an obligation to give thanks through language, essentially the obligation to say Modeh Ani in the morning, is derived from two aspects of meaning in this term. One is thankfulness, todah, which results from gratitude toward the one who does good, God perhaps. And the other is confession, hitvadut, which is an acknowledgement of the truth. The two are fit, he says, one to the other. According to Rav Kook, we cannot decouple the gratitude we feel in life, towards life, and for life from the confession of the truth that underlies it. When we discuss climate and the environment and nature, I want to invite us all to allow into our frame not only the gratitude we feel for the gifts we receive from simply being alive, but also the willingness to acknowledge and honor and confess our responsibility. Our responsibility for the fact that 17 of the last 18 hottest years on record have all occurred since 2001. To confess and take seriously the fires that are displacing my friends and former community in Los Angeles and in Australia and up until recently in the Amazon. The reality that it rained in Michigan 23 days in May last spring, making it an exceptionally difficult growing season for local farmers, and that May to May of last year was actually the wettest year ever recorded in Michigan. Confess to the reality that climate change is already impacting countless lives across this state, this region, and this globe, causing a growing number of refugees and extinct species and new diseases. Confess that our climate will continue to change in ways that we haven't seen before and that we are only just beginning to understand. According to the UN Secretary General, we now, quote, must set radical change in motion just to hit the minimal goals we set forth at the Paris Agreement in 2015. Moda'ani lefanecha, it is up to us not only to give thanks for what is, but to acknowledge and act upon the truth within it, so that this earth and the beauty of nature may remain not only for us, but for our children and their children's children and beyond, as we see a couple babies tonight getting their names. This week we read from Parshat Toldot, the Torah portion called Generations. In it we find wells that have been stopped up, like, according to one commentator, a heart that is choked, where the water cannot flow or be accessed because the Plishtim, the others in this case, have covered the wells that Abraham once dug with soil and rocks. And so it is up to Isaac to uncover them. Well, again, no pun intended, our wells are covered over now, too. Wells of compassion and the recognition of our inherent interconnectedness with society and the rest of the more than human world. Wells of sacred mystery and divine unfolding within our own Jewish tradition that have been buried for millennia, and even, unfortunately, sometimes wells of softness and openness that may become blocked within our own hearts. The ancient and living water beneath all of these wells and more now seek to flow anew, to be uncovered and released. In this historical moment, as we couple our gratitude and nature connection with spiritually rooted nature-based action and embrace the ever-growing revolution of values that Dr. King once spoke of, I want to invite you and all of us on behalf of Chazon to join us in what we're calling the year of environmental tshuva. When Isaac went to uncover the wells that had been covered in this Torah portion, our text says that he made tshuva, hu yashav in Hebrew. This year, 5780 on the Jewish calendar, is the year for turning inwards, in return and in repentance, to commit to one thing that we will each do this year that will better the environment and ourselves. Perhaps you'll plant a tree with a new initiative we're launching in partnership with another number of other Jewish organizations called J-Tree. Or maybe you will reduce the amount of plastic you use. Maybe you'll buy more local produce this spring, or even refrain from eating a turkey next Thanksgiving. Or maybe you'll show up on the streets for the next climate march. Whatever your commitment is, Chazon and Temple Israel are here to support you, and we will keep you posted on all sorts of ways that you may choose to get involved throughout the year. In short, we are asking that you help make 5780 a turning point for us today and for the generations to come. At the end of his commentary on Moda'ani, Rav Kook says the following, quote, "The first exuberance of life which meets one as they rise from sleep, finding before them a full new world in all its wholeness and goodness, lifts up the light of the inner intellect to recognize the light and brilliance which lie at the foundation of life. Despite our muddied, clumsy existence as humans," he continues, quote, "the spirit rises to a clear divine perspective, to see the soul of the light of the life-giver of the world in the splendor of its action." This Thanksgiving weekend, this holiday season, and every day of our lives, may we give thanks with all our heart, rooted both in deep gratitude and honest confession. And may we be moved by our feelings of thanksgiving, as Rav Kook concludes, so that we may acknowledge the truth, filling the depths of the truth of spiritual awareness, testifying on all the light of life and existence, that it flows from the spring of goodness and its source, from the source of transcendent loving kindness, which pours out abundant life to all the many worlds and their creations. Let us make 5780B a true year of environmental teshuvah, of wells uncovered, and of connection. Let us do it together with love and thanks, and let us say, Amen. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה טהור שבשמיים. יחד לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה לאהבה.
איך שהלב נפתח חובק את העולם ובקריאת גדולה נשיר לאהבה. אמרו הכל אפשר, זה לא מאוחר, השחר כבר עלה, זמן לאהבה. יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה טהור שבשמיים. יחד לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה לאהבה. If only you believe in what the heart can weave as we ascend above, we'll sing a song of love. יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה טהור שבשמיים. יחד לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה לאהבה. If only you believe in what the heart can weave as we ascend above, we'll sing a song of
I just want to say how grateful we are to these amazing singers, and of course to Rabbi DeGroot, but also to, I don't know what to call them. They're no longer Teen Tefillah team, maybe what it is, or the Irie family singers. I'm not sure exactly, but they have certainly beautified our service. As we now call upon past president of our congregation, Stanley Finsilver, for the congregational announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. For those taking care of loved ones, our Caregivers Support Group meets on the first and third Thursday of each month. This supportive environment is led by trained professionals. The next meeting is Thursday, December 5th at 10 a.m. here at Temple. On Wednesday, December 11th, from 10 to 3:30, during the Hanukkah Scholarship Book Fair, join Sisterhood for the winter boutiques, just in time for the holidays. They have a large variety of vendors to accommodate everyone's gifts lists. Light snacks and refreshments will be available. Join us Friday, December 13th for a congregational Hanukkah Shabbat dinner and Kahila family service. Dinner begins at 6 p.m. and services start early at 7. Services will include the Shabbat singers, Temple's artist in residence, Jacob Spike Krause, and guest speaker, Rabbi Dan Horowitz. Please RSVP by Monday the 9th if you're going to have dinner with us. And finally, families with children under 5 are invited, children 5 and under are invited to join our clergy and early childhood educator, Joni Kaniger, on Saturday, December 14th at 10:30 for Shabbat for Tots, Hanukkah O Hanukkah. Enjoy celebrating Shabbat and Hanukkah activities, songs, snacks, and prayers. For more information for any of these programs, check the brochures as you leave, visit the website, or call the office during regular business hours. And at the end of tonight's services, please join us for Neonic and Shabbat greetings. And on behalf of the officers and members of the Board of Trustees, I wish you each Shabbat Shalom.
I don't know if you've heard the famous Jewish story called the Grinch who stole the candy on Thanksgiving, but unfortunately, we don't have any candy for the kids. So parents, if you have children here, they get double cookies at the Oneg Shabbat, okay? You can come up though if you want kids. As we all rise, come on up for the adoration on page 189.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated and do remember double cookies tonight, guys. Okay, triple cookies, okay? Tough bargainer, I gotta tell you. We now turn to the task of memory, and Thanksgiving does bring memories of those who are no longer sitting around the table with us, but who live on in our hearts. And we recall those who have died during the past 30 days of Shloshim. Joe Broder, Thelma Stahlberg Brown, Alan Charnas, August Weeks Craig, Annette Elbling, Audrey Farber, Dr. Jerome Feldstein, Beverly Goldberg, Harvey Goodman, Ethel May Green, Nancy Hartman, Stuart Itzkowitz, Bill Lefkowski, Bob Mellon, Howard Miller, Joyce Moroff, David Moscow, Abbott Mosher, Sam Marechkin, Dorothy Pleasant, Leonard Poliak, Debbie Quigley, Gene Radner, Diane Rappaport, Craig Sanders, Jerry Stern, Todd Stocker, Daniel Victor, Dr. Jack Wayne, Ruth Young, Aaron Zolden, Dr. Alan Baghdad, Helen Levine, and Judith Clark. We recall too those whose yahrzeits fall at this time: Kenneth R. Eaton Jr., Leonard Galper, Karen Goldfein, Aaron Greenfield, Heather Heath, Stanley Hirsch, Anna Kittner, Dr. Albert Corby, Laura Levine, William Light, Fred Sidney Robinson, Brenda Rose, Lowell Selasnik, Paula Siegel, Joyce S. White, Claire Winnick, Rose Wolf, Michael Yendick, Pauline Rubin Rosenfeld Schaefer, Sarah Levine, Ann Minkoff, Marvin Wayne, Ida Damrar, Marilyn Epstein, William Willie Goose, Flora Stolberg Weisberg, Saul Schwartz, Irving Robinson, Albert Davids, Glenn Bassapore, Norma Galper, and Sidney Cohn. May their souls be bound up in the bond of everlasting love as we turn now to page 199 in our prayer books and rise to remember them. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye echon v'yom echon v'chaye t'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv yemiru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram b'alma v'yimiru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimiru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, v'ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimiru amen. May God, who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us, on our people Israel and all the world, and let us say.
As we turn to page 1, if you like, thanks to Maddie and Dan for beautifying the service. And by the way, if you turn to the back of your prayer books, you'll find an application to the cantorial program at Hebrew Union College, already filled out. No pressure, but you bring a lot of joy to a lot of people if you think about it. And we conclude our service with Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. 2, 3, 4, and Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Oh, Davinu 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 Chai. Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai. Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai. Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Amen, Amen, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. Shabbat Shalom.